All right, so the next step, after you have everything, all the seams defined, is the actual unwrapping. All right, and I'm going to show you, before we move on to that, what it would look like to unwrap something that doesn't have seams. So I'm going to open up the previous guy here, and I'll remove the thing I was working on with that. Okay, let me add UV unwrap again. There we go. All right, so first of all, you see that there's green things down here, and it's because I didn't clear the UV unwrap, so I'm going to leave those. And then I'm going to select polygon select, and I'll select everything here. So let's see. Everything. There we go. So everything's selected, I believe, on both sides. Let me make sure. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, so selected everything. Oops, not almost everything. All right. Okay, so you don't have to do this, but I'm just showing you. We're going to do it a little bit differently because we have seams, but this one doesn't have seams. So without seams, say you just open up the editor and you have something like this where it takes every one of your polygons and it puts it on this layout. All right, and then we want to view it in a checker. Oh, one step we're going to have to do is we need to get out of see-through mode. So right click on that guy, take see-through off. Okay, there we go. All right, so what you're going to see is, you see the checker boxes are all kind of stretched out. You see some checker boxes on top, and the other ones are not well defined. On the feet, it's pretty well defined. You can see the check boxes are there. The other places where it's not so well defined, where it's all stretched out, is if you put a texture on those places, it would also look stretched out. So even though if you spent the time to paint a really nice texture on what it's going to look like on this thing, it wouldn't look very good because it's not defined very well. All right, so by creating seams, that allows us to make it look better. And I think because the seams were automatically put on the feet for some reason, that is looking really good. See how the checkers are fairly nicely formed, and see on the legs they're all stretched out. All right, so that's bad news. We don't want that. Okay, let me go back to the other one, and not going to save that. Okay, so here we are. We have all of our seams still. And the next step is that we want to start building the layouts and unwrapping these guys. Okay, so I'm going to use the polygon select, and that and a combination of this projection plane, and open the UV editor. Okay, so currently nothing is selected, so this is what the whole robot would look like, but we want to select a group, and by selecting the group we can select everything that's is that it? I think it is this guy. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, it's down here in the seams. So expand the polygon selection to the seam. So say I want this let me close this. You got polygon select. So if I select the first one in each of the seam groups, and then you're going to expand the polygon. So there's the face. All right. And actually, I'm going to put this all on the same layout, the face and the head. So then I'm going to control click just one of the pieces on the others and expand that. All right, so that's that half of the head. And then I will control click this guy and expand that. Okay, so everything that I have a seam for on the head is now selected. And I'm going to go down to open the UV editor, and you kind of see what that looks like. except I'm going to try this flatten polygons by angle. Alright, that's good, except I don't like that the rest of the body's on there. Alright, so we're going to move this anyway. Oops. Undo that. Okay, so make sure projection is turned off. And then what we can do is I'm going to show multiple tiles. And I'm going to use the move tool here. Just scroll over one of these and I'll move it to its own tile. Okay. And then I'll scale it down just a little bit, scale tool. Just scale over one of these, and what you want is so it's nice and contained inside of that tile. Alright, and each of these tiles I'm going to save as a layout. Okay, and then we'll color on the layouts. I'll show you that later. Alright, but here is pretty much the face part here. Alright, and I believe you have the kind of the front and the back of or the sides. These are different pieces of the head. Alright, so that's going to be pretty much what we do. So we're going to keep going with this. I'm going to deselect, and now I'm going to select the body and expand that selection. And it looks like I'm getting arms with that because it just made a seam across the front, but that's okay. This is the front part of the body. Alright, and then I'm going to choose projection. There we go. It's making it pretty big, so I'll choose this. There we go. Alright, so this tool I find is very useful, this flatten by polygons. I just choose a projection and then I choose that, and it'll put everything in there in the tile. So then I will turn the projection off, and I'm going to do something similar to what I did with the head here. I have multiple tiles showing, so if you move them it'll create a new tile. So we'll just go to this one here and scale it down a little bit. You want it to take up as much of the tile as possible, but make sure everything is contained inside of it and it's not leaking over. Alright. Okay, so you can kind of see how the different pieces come together. Let's see, I think, yeah, it'll be interesting to see which parts are which, but I believe most of this is the arm. And let's see, if I click on here, you can see, you click off of it, you can kind of see what pieces are which. So I believe these two are the sides, and this is kind of the front piece. Okay, so I can, if I selected all of these, I could kind of see where that guy is and all this stuff here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We're going to keep kind of going through each one of these and creating new tiles, and then we'll be able to color the texture on them. Alright, I probably didn't really want to have the arms as separate pieces. I thought I went around. I guess I didn't do that cut. It would probably be easier if I had a seam around this arm so the arms were separate from the body. I think I'm going to get away with it because I can see that these are arm pieces, and I should be able to kind of color on those, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Alright, so those are all done. You can see they have you have the green lines for those. So let me select in the back, expand. Now the back is not part of the, I guess what I got was all of the arms and the shoulders both sides. So this is an interesting mix of stuff here. So let me do this guy. Project, and then I'll use this tool again, flatten polygon angle. Alright. Turn projection off. If you don't turn projection off, you can't move things around in the tiles. So gotta turn the projection off each time. Alright. So this piece will be a lot easier to probably draw on. There's a little more details on the back anyway, so that's fine. The front of the body is, I guess there's like kind of rivets or buttons on something on there, so it won't be so bad. And the arms, you can kind of tell we're just going to put those stripes and stuff on there. Alright, so the other things you can tell is as I move these and select them, they're going away from this whole, that's the entire piece here, so that's good. Alright, so let's keep going. Select the leg, expand that. Hopefully that's just one leg. Okay, cool. Legs, we can put those together, so I'm going to control click. Those can go on the same layout. Alright, those are good. And then project, flatten. So I just follow the same procedures. And then I'm going to move these to their own tile. Scale it down. Okay, that's good. And the feet I will put on. There's expand. Control click. Expand. Alright, so I can probably put all of these guys on the same layout. That's no problem. Alright, so looks like I have everything but I think these are the hands that didn't get selected. That's interesting. Alright, so turn off projection. I guess I'll do the hands later. Okay. And the last piece, I guess, is the hands. So let's do expand and control click the other hand. Yep, that's, I think, everything. Let's see. Oh, the neck is by itself. Yeah. So I could put the neck and the hands and all that stuff together. I guess I will. It's kind of silly to not do that. So control click the neck. There we go. Alright, projection. Flatten angles. There we go. So we have all those pieces all set, and everything on the robot now has a green line. Alright, except for down the back. That's fine. The blue lines will still be there, but everything with green is kind of outlined and in our editor here. So we have all the pieces to work from. So the other part you want to see if you've done a good job. Let's right click on our box, go to properties, and take see-through off. Click OK. Alright, and then you can switch back and forth between these checkers patterns to activate them. But you can kind of see now that we have well-defined visible checkers all the way around. If we didn't, there's some things we could do, like if you have some curved pieces. But in general, for this model, If you have it that looks something similar to mine, with enough defined checker boxes, you're going to be fine. Like the arms are fine. That's fine. So as long as you can see checkers all around everywhere, you know that everything's well defined. And what that basically means is everything's been mapped to a flat one of these UVs. Okay. So I'm going to save this. Save UVs. And I'm going to put it, I'm going to go up to robot here, and we have all of these folders. I think it's in, let's see, scene, assets, images. And I'm going to put it in that folder. All right, I'll just call it robot UVs. And I'm going to put, just in case I did this before, I'm going to put V2 on mine because I think I did another one earlier. So go ahead and save that. That saves this layout. Okay. There is another thing to do after this that we will talk about, but I think that's it for now.